Going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who support me and this platform, SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. It's very much appreciated. Back with another one tonight. Tonight we will be discussing pain bodies. Pain bodies. You know, over here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV, I'm all about healing. I'm all about restoration. Us restoring ourselves, us replenishing ourselves. That's why the motto of this channel is heal before we build. As you can see in the title, hashtag HB4WB, heal before we build. So tonight we're gonna delve a little deep into the dysfunction. You know, people want to know, or they can't understand, why do we keep perpetuating the same things? Why do we keep doing the same thing but expecting a different result? Why can't we get it right? You know, these are all the questions that is being asked. Why can't we get it right? What's going on? I mean, it's been all of these years and we can't get it done. What is holding us back? And like I always say, what's holding us back is internal strife. The internal strife of an individual can cause the destruction of a people. Because at first he's gonna destroy himself, which is gonna lead to him becoming destructive. But what leads to that? What brings a person to that point? What creates the savage? You know? Everybody say nowadays, oh, I'm a savage, I'm a savage. You know, when I was growing up, you couldn't call yourself a savage. You know, because calling yourself a savage meant something totally different. But just in, speaking in today's vernacular, what constitutes a savage? You know? Why do these young people love calling themselves savages? What constitutes a goon? What makes a person become a goon? What makes them enjoy goon activity and partaking in it? It's because of internal strife. Like I always say, unresolved hurt. And see, these things lead to dysfunction when these things go unchecked. This is why I say, Black people, we need therapy. And this is what I try to provide here on this platform. Therapy from a raw perspective. You know, it's not your conventional therapy session where I sit down with a book and no. My therapy session is the therapy session that you need to have with your family. That sit down, you know, drag out conversation that may turn into an argument. It may turn into a fight. There's going to be a lot of tears being shed. A lot of things will be exposed, but at the end, we should be able to come together and to begin to move on from the hurt, the internal strife that plagues the Black community, that plagues the Black man and woman. You wonder why the children are so dysfunctional. Just look at their parents. Don't blame the children. Look at the parents. They're being born out of dysfunction. They're being born, you know, they're being born out of the lack of love. They're being born out of lust. They're being born out of abuse, drug usage. What makes people live like this? And we're going to get into this tonight. We're going to get into it. We're going to delve into it. After this, y'all should be able to understand why dysfunction exists and how it's created. So shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm going to give y'all a minute to come through. If you're here, do me a favor and share the show. Share this show, please. We will be discussing pain bodies tonight. First, we're going to start off with what is a pain body? Who came up with the term pain body? Well, the first time I've heard of pain bodies and post-traumatic stress disorder was I was watching a DVD by the legendary Jewel Pookrum. And I've actually, she made my 2017 Black History Month series. Y'all could go and check out that dissertation. It's in the playlist section of this channel. Just go to my playlist and click Black History Month for 2017, and you'll find Dr. Jewel Pookrum. Now, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, she specialized in psychology. You know, just like Francis Cress. But Jewel Pookrum spoke about it from an emotional standpoint. What was the result of post-traumatic slave disorder? So the DVD was about breaking the psychological chains. See? Breaking the psychological chains. And in that DVD, she spoke on, like I said, post-traumatic stress disorder. And she brought up something called pain bodies. That's the first time I've heard it. Or pain consciousness. But the person who coined the term, when I looked it up, is a guy by the name of Eckhart Tolle or Eckhart Tolle. He wrote the book. Well, he wrote a lot of books, but one of his New York bestsellers was The Power of Now. The Power of Now. Y'all could go ahead, go to Amazon, cop the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Now let's get into what is a pain body. A pain body is an accumulation of painful life experience that was not fully faced and accepted in the moment it arose. Let me repeat that. A pain body is an accumulation. So it's not just one event. It's not just one event. It's an accumulation of painful life experiences that was not fully faced and accepted. That goes into when I talk about unresolved hurt. It's unresolved because it was not fully faced and accepted in the moment it arose. This is why when you hear some people talk about traumatic things that happen, a lot of them can't remember it. Shit, the things that happened to me, sometimes I don't even remember it. I don't remember when it happened, like what age it happened to anything. It is an accumulation of painful life experiences that was not fully faced and accepted in the moment it arose. It leaves behind a energy form of emotional pain. You see? See why they say energy never dies? It just changes form. It is it leaves behind an energy form of emotional pain. It comes together with other energy forms from other instances. And so after so many years, you have a pain body. You see? So you may have a kid who grow up and he get teased a lot. You know, people just teasing him, cracking jokes on him. But he doesn't know how to accept jokes. So then he start walking around in school with his head down, looking sad. So then he start getting bullied. They start pushing him around in school, smacking his hat off his head. He just pick his hat up and keep walking with his head down. See, he's developing and creating a pain body. You see? It's not from one instance. You see, because it started with him just being teased. Then it went from being teased to being bullied. Then from being bullied to getting beat up. Then from getting beat up to getting robbed. Why do y'all think a lot of a lot of children have been committing suicide? People who commit suicide have huge pain bodies. People who are depressed suffer from anxiety. These are all signs of a pain body existence in a person's life. You see? So let's get into it a little more. Let's start from the top. It is an accumulation of painful life experiences that was not fully faced and accepted in the moment it arose. It leaves behind an energy form of emotional pain. It comes together with other energy forms from other instances. And so, after so many years, you have a pain body, a energy entity. Pay attention. Pay attention to these words. An energy entity. A pain body is an entity. This is why you hear people who are suicidal, they say they see demons. They see spirits. They hear spirits. These are entities that were formed around this person and their pain. An energy entity consisting of old emotions. It lives in human beings and is the emotional aspect of egoic consciousness. Let me repeat that. It lives in human beings and it is the emotional aspect of egoic consciousness. Let's look up egoic consciousness. Let's see what egoic consciousness means, or ego consciousness. The ego is the center of consciousness, whereas the self is the center of the total personality, which includes consciousness, the unconscious, and the ego. The self is the whole and the center. Let me read that again. The ego is the center of consciousness, whereas the self is the center of the total personality. Earlier, Gab was doing a shout out to my brother Gab. He was doing a show earlier, and he was talking about this. And me and somebody in the chat, we was talking about um ego and getting past the ego to get to another level. And one of the brothers in the chat was like, I don't think you can ever get rid of your ego. And I said, no, you can't. You absolutely can't. But it's about balance. It's about balance. So now let's go back. It lives in human beings and it is the emotional aspect of egoic consciousness. When the ego is amplified by the emotion of the pain body, the ego has enormous strength still, particularly at those times. It requires very great presence so that you can be there as the space also for your pain body when it arises. So what this pain body does is it basically takes over who you are and it becomes a part of you. to the point where some people don't understand how to deal with it, so it becomes who they are. It becomes who they are. That is everybody's job here, to be there to recognize the pain body when it shifts from dormant to active. When something triggers a very strong emotional reaction, that's what wakes up the pain body. Triggers. That's why you hear people on here saying, yo, such and such is triggered. That person has a pain body. And when certain things are said, or certain things are said in a certain way, it wakes up that pain body. It brings back to memory those old emotions. At that moment, when it does take over your mind, the internal dialogue, which is dysfunctional at the best of times, now becomes the voice of the pain body talking to you eternally. That's the person when you depressed keep saying, why it's me? Woe, it's me. I'm a failure. I'll never be good at this. I suck at life. I'm a loser. I'll never be happy. I'll always be broke. I'm poor. I'll never have enough. I'll never be happy. No one loves me. Everyone hates me. See, that's the internal dialogue. That's that internal strife that plagues people. I talked about that in my last live stream, breaking down the Koba mindset. Koba was dysfunctional. His internal dialogue was negative because of the negative events that happened in his life, that happened to him. So let me read that again. That is everybody's job here, to be there to recognize the pain body when it shifts from dormant to active. That means from sleep to awaken. When something triggers a very strong emotional reaction. So you can always trace certain emotions back to a event. At that moment, when it takes over your mind, the internal dialogue, which is dysfunctional at the best of times, now becomes the voice of the pain body talking to you internally. Everything it says is deeply colored by the old painful emotion of the pain body. So at that time of this traumatic event that happened to you when you was 5 years old, and the emotions you felt that you suppressed, when that internal voice starts speaking to you, everything it's saying to itself basically to keep itself alive. But what it's really doing is it's killing you slowly. You're dying inside. Because what it's doing is it's telling you the things, it's telling you the things that's going to make you relive the event that you don't want to relive. So all of those things I was saying, I'm nothing, no one loves me. See, you hear those things because it reassures you that you haven't accepted what happened to you. And as a result, this is why you feel this way. Let's go back to the definition. It is an accumulation of painful life experience that was not fully faced and accepted in the moment it arose. So now let's go back here. Everything it says is deeply colored. Mean they just use colored, but what they're saying is it's describing by the old painful emotion of the pain body. Every interpretation, everything it says, every judgment about your life, about other people, about a situation you are in will be totally distorted by the old emotional pain, i.e., you will never get out of your own way. Okay? This is science. Okay? Understand this. This is why I always say trauma is real, man. And trauma is what we're plagued with. Unresolved hurt. This is why we don't respect one another. Because let's go back to what it says. Everything it says is deeply colored by the old painful emotion of the pain body. Every interpretation, everything it says, every judgment about your life, about other people, about a situation you are in will be totally distorted by the old emotional pain. So you can never truly move on and truly be happy and truly be successful if you don't address your pain, if you don't address your trauma. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all the businesses in the world. But the pain body will never go away. And the pain body will actually destroy whatever you're trying to build. That is the self-inflicted wound I speak on, family. When I tell us we got to heal before we build. Because if we don't, we will keep destroying what we're trying to build from the inside. That's the pain body, ladies and gentlemen. Because your view on everything in your life, the people, the current events that's going on in your life, will be totally distorted. Mean you wouldn't know how to love that new man or woman that's in your life correctly. You see? You wouldn't be able to fully trust this new man or woman in your life because of the old emotional pain. This is where you get people accusing you of shit you ain't even doing, but they accusing you. That's old emotional pain. Because what the ego does, the ego looks for validation. So when you keep telling yourself, yeah, he cheating, girl, he cheating. Then when you find out the nigga cheating, that's the last thing you wanted to find out. But that's the pain body. The aspect of egoic consciousness. The emotional aspect of it. If you are not there as the space for it, you are identified with the pain body and you believe every negative thought that it is telling you. Let me read that again. If you are not there as a space for it, meaning if you're not present at the time of these traumatic events, and you don't address it and accept what happened to you, you are identified with the pain body. The pain body becomes who you are. And you believe every negative thought that it is telling you. If you are alone, the pain body will feed on every negative thought that arises and get more energy. So it grows with the more you ignore it and try to suppress it and try to cover it up with makeup and try to cover it up with weave and try to cover it up with Gucci and try to cover it up with plastic surgery and try to cover it up with ass shots and try to cover it up with $800 belts and try to cover it up with throwing money in the club. All you doing is making your situation worse. That's all you doing. You only live once. That's a mask to try to hide from pain. So you go out and do all the shit you ain't supposed to be doing when what you really doing it is inviting in more negative energy to attach itself to your pain body. That's why you hear people saying they got so goddamn drunk last night they woke up and they felt worse. The liquor don't take the pain away. The weed don't take the pain away. The pills don't take the pain away. Sex don't take the pain away. Money don't take the pain away. If that's the case, why do you have millionaires killing themselves? Why do you have millionaires that are addicted to drugs? Why do why do they have the saying it's lonely at the top? Because it's something else missing. Something else missing. That, let me read it from the top. Let me start it from where, if you are not there as the space for it, you are identified with the pain body, and you believe every negative thought that it is telling you. If you are alone, the pain body will feed on every negative thought that arises and get more energy. That's why it's become active. After it does that for a while, you can't stop thinking at night or whenever it is. The pain body is feeding, and after a few hours, it's had enough. You feel a little depleted. And then it happens again a few weeks later or a few days later. The pain body will feel even better if it could feed on someone else's reaction. Let me read that again. The pain body will feel even better if it could feed on someone else's reaction. Hurt people hurt people. Because you know why? Because they like, they want to see a person experience what they are plagued with. The pain body would feel even better if it could feed on someone else's reaction. Your partner would be a favorite person. Your partner. Hence why there's always a person in a relationship who deals with the other person's baggage, the emotional baggage. You got to watch how you talk. You got to watch how you respond. You can't fully be yourself at times because you're always worried about how that person may feel. Or this person is dumping their emotional baggage on you. That's the pain body. The pain body would feel even better if it could feed on someone else's reaction. Your partner would be a favorite person, and it will, if there is somebody around or family situations. Pain bodies love families, and it will just provoke this person, your partner, or whoever it is. Everything is your fault. The person that has the pain body loves to be void of accountability and responsibility. Because to take responsibility and hold themselves accountable, you're doing what? Let's go back. Let's go back. If you're holding yourself responsible and accountable, you have fully faced and accepted that painful life experience. But when you don't and you feel you're void of it, you have not fully faced it and accepted it. Hence why the pain body exists. So you're your own goddamn oppressor. Okay? You are your own oppressor. Now, see, if you just thinking on some, some low, see, this is not low level shit. If you want to talk about politics and white supremacy, and this is not the stream for you. See, we going beyond this. We going beyond that. This is what you call esoteric. See, the other shit you niggas like to talk about, that's exoteric. Outside shit. Politics, or that's outside shit. We want to deal with the inside of the person. You want to keep asking the question, why these people do what they do? Why black people can't get it together? Why we can't unite? Why we don't do business with each other? Pain bodies. That's what creates the dysfunction. The pain body would feel even better if it could feed on somebody else's reaction. Your partner would be a favorite person. And it will, if there's somebody around or family situations. Pain bodies love families. And it will just provoke this person, your partner, or whoever it is. The pain body knows exactly what the thing is that will trigger a negative response. So, fellas, you know why sometimes your girl just come and pick an argument with you, and then you fall for it, get into the argument, and now everything's your fault. You didn't even start the argument, but it's your fault. That's the pain body. Because the pain body wants to be fed. It's an entity. So it needs to be fed with negativity. So a person will start an argument with you. So it can justify and validate why they feel like shit. So now you done got mad, probably cursed your wife out. Now your wife's sitting in the corner crying, feeling like shit. But she started the whole shit. And she come to you and tell you she's sorry. She don't know why she started the argument. It's because that's the pain body active. See, she don't understand why she started the argument because her pain body done grew so big that that's who she is. She only operates out of that. She only operates out of dysfunction. And men do the same shit. I don't know why I can't stop cheating. I don't know. I'm sorry, baby. Take me back. But I don't know why. It's because something is not being addressed. Our pain bodies love families, and it will just provoke this person, your partner, or whoever it is. The pain body knows exactly what the thing is that will trigger a negative response. Then it says the thing that is really going to hurt you. And of course, if you are not absolutely present in that moment, then immediately you will react. And the pain body loves it. Give me more drama, please. See? Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. That's what your pain body is telling you. That's why you go and you watch Special Victims Unit and you sit there and you cry when you watch the episodes. But you can't stop watching it because it's giving confirmation to your pain body. Because when you watch what happens on that TV show, some of those traumatic events play in your mind of what happened to you. Some episodes you can't bear to watch. Some of them you can't even get through. You're crying so damn much. This is the real shit. Not that foo-foo shit. This is the real. This is the real work that needs to be done before we get our asses out in the community. Okay? This is the real work. Before you get your ass out in the community and talk about you building this and I'm building that, you got to do the inner work. The inner work. Because you can't run from that. That's the shit you can't run from. Can't run from yourself. See? See, this is the shit niggas don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about the inner war between you and yourself, between you and your own experiences in life. Talk about those demons that plague you. Why you got to get drunk to go to sleep? Why you got to get high to go to sleep? Why most people are afraid of the dark. They got to sleep with lights on. They got to sleep with the TVs on. They got to have noise in their house at all times. This is the real work. All this other shit is really an illusion. If you want to talk about the Matrix, all this other shit, politics, that shit is an illusion. See, when you're dealing with the esoteric, the outside world is folly. It's an illusion. Let's talk about what plagues you. What's stopping you? Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about that. See, this is why. This is why. Or this is how I came up with the name Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Because we got to understand what truly makes a person a sheep. And shout out to everybody in the chat too. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button and y'all share the show. Very much appreciated. And don't forget to hit the donate. Hit the donate button if you like the show. But see, Sheep Stay Sleep TV, it's a larger concept. See, we got to get into what makes a follower. What makes people say they want to follow you? What makes a blind follower? What makes a person stay asleep? Think about this. I'm not going to answer that. Y'all think about it based on what y'all have heard. Because see, the war that they keep projecting, it's not real. See, they want us to keep looking for everything going on the outside so you can ignore what's going on in your household, what's going on in your temple, which is you. What's going on inside of you. How successful you think you can be in the outside world if the inside world is chaotic. There's no balance within. So you wonder why we live in a chaotic world on the outside? Because it's chaos within. As above, so below. As within, so without. So if it's chaos in the outside world, imagine what's going on in the minds and hearts of the goddamn people who's making this world wicked. And the people who's contributing to the world being wicked. Imagine what's going on with them in the inside. Imagine that. What makes a person wicked? See, this is why I like to watch certain shit. And shout out to my brother Gab on the donation. I appreciate it, big bro. I was watching a documentary that was made, it was years ago, with the hitman Well, the ex-hitman, one of the hitmen of the old-time hitmen of the mafia, of the Gambinos, Richard Kalinsky, the Iceman. I love watching shit like that because it gets into the mindset. They got into the mindset of this man. What makes you a hitman? What would make you want to kill people for a living? It's the type of shit I like to watch. And Richard Kalinsky was an abused child. His father was a military man who was very strict and he was violent. He used to beat him and his mother. By the time he was 10 years old, Richard Kalinsky is what you would call a sociopath. He was a child sociopath. He said he used to he used to capture kittens and cats from the neighbors. He'll take their animals and kill them and burn them in the yard, in the backyard. He'll go get kittens and smash their heads with rocks. He was a sociopath because of the abuse from his father. So from young, he loved to watch things die. He was bred into being a killer. Hence why he became a hitman. You can't just become a hitman for money. You got to be a hitman because you love to kill people. You love to watch shit take their last breath and you enjoy it. You're numb to it. You become numb to violence. You become numb to death. And that's what Richie Kalinsky said. I became numb to death at a young age. So understand where this shit comes from. Understand we will never get it right until we address and fully accept our trauma, man. And we all have personal trauma. Everyone. I don't give a goddamn if you purple. We all do. We all have it. Healing is a process. It's not an event. So if we didn't become broken overnight, how the hell we gonna fix this shit overnight? How the hell we just gonna say, well, if we just unify, this shit'll change? Unify under what guise? The guise of financial freedom? What's the purpose of having a bunch of money if you're not free internally? All you're gonna do is go and spend money on shit to cover up your hurt. That's all you're gonna do. Cause you're not free. You're not truly free. Financial freedom is not the true freedom. The real freedom is from within. That's the real freedom. The fact that you could go to sleep now without drinking a half a bottle of Hennessy, but you can actually go to sleep. You know how many niggas got big ass beds and don't even sleep in them because they not comfortable? You know how many rich people out here that go to sleep with their face stuck in piles of cocaine? So y'all really think financial freedom is gonna free us? It ain't. That's one aspect of it. Money will be able to help you buy the things that will represent your inner freedom. Because what niggas spend their money on now, shit that they use to cope with the inner strife. Drugs, sex, drugs, and entertainment. Shout out to Cameron, SDE. That's what we use, and we don't even know that we are feeding these energy entities. We're feeding it with sex, drugs, and entertainment. It's not freeing you. You're feeding it. You're feeding it. Oh, I'm just trying to laugh. I'm just trying to have fun. Yeah, but are you laughing? What are you laughing at? Because I spoke about how we laugh at shit we ain't supposed to. We laugh at shit that's not even supposed to be funny. Look at the jokes we used to crack on each other when we was little. That's why your mother a crackhead. And homie moms is really a crackhead. That shit not funny. That's not no shit to be laughing at or to crack a joke on. But of course, let's go back. Of course, the pain body would feel even better if it could feed on somebody else's reaction. See? See? So now what happens is when you crack the joke and say that's why your mother a crackhead and you make that person feel bad, and then that person say, well, that's why you got molested when you was 8. Now both of y'all pain bodies have been awakened and they begin to feed off of each other. Next thing you know, somebody might be dead after the end of the argument. Or y'all might end up and had a fight. Somebody might end up in the hospital. Or you begin to resent that person and hate that person. And eventually you'll end up hurting them anyway. Or turning it inward and hurting yourself. See, it's a war that is being fought on many fronts. And you got some guys that's going to fight the war on the outside, but the war on the inside is ongoing. It's an ongoing war within. Fuck a gender war, a red and blue pill war, a incel war. Fuck all that. The real war's within. Can you defeat that monster within? Hmm? Can you defeat that enemy? Can you defeat anxiety? Can you defeat depression? Can you defeat guilt? The 7 deadly sins: greed, envy, lust, sloth. Can you defeat them? Can you defeat them? Can you defeat those demons? Can you fight those demons? Because those demons are a lot stronger than the ones on the outside. See, the demons within controls the demons without. That's what fuels the outside war, the inner war. The inner war is what feeds and fuels the outside war. See, we need to delve into why people do what they do instead of keep asking people why this shit is the way it is. Look at yourself. Ask yourself why the way you are how you are. That's why I always say introspection is the best. If you don't look at yourself and take self inventory, all this other shit don't really mean nothing. I'ma just keep it 1,000. All this other shit don't mean nothing because it's nothing but byproducts of the inner war. Nigga, if you hate women, you hate half of yourself. Let me repeat that. Nigga, if you hate women, you hate half of yourself because you're half of your goddamn mama, nigga. You hate yourself, homie. Understand that. The conscious mind represents the masculine, practicality, reasoning. The subconscious mind represents it's feminine. That's why it's the receptor, the receiver. That's why the woman receives you. So how the hell you gonna hate women, nigga? You hate half your goddamn self. That's the real reason why you ain't supposed to hate women, nigga. That's the real reason why women ain't supposed to hate men. Because you're suppressing yourself. You're killing yourself. So miss me with that gender war shit. That's YouTube malarkey. That shit you talk about on here to get a bunch of people caught up in their feelings that they want to stay in because it's attached to a pain body. You're feeding a person's pain body when you talk about a fucking gender war. When the gender war is going on within because niggas is suppressing half of themselves. So don't tell me about no gender war. Get that shit out of here. So pain bodies are energy entities. It's entities, man. How long do you want to continue to feed that beast? That beast within? How long? Hmm? When you gonna make peace with the beast within? How did Bruce Banner turn into the Incredible Hulk? When he activates through what? His pain body, which is what? Anger, rage. And he turned into a big giant green motherfucker. That's a representation of a pain body. Bruce Banner turning into the Incredible Hulk. So, like I said, check out Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. I definitely will be ordering that book real soon because I heard it, like I said, I heard about it a long time ago through Dr. Jewel Pookrum. And yes, he's a white man. He's a white man. Does that really matter? The book is called The Power of Now. So let me see what's going on in the chat room. Shout out to people in the chat. Shout out to my OG, Muhammad is the one. Shout out to the great moderator and my sis, Poetic Kels. Shout out to my big bro, Sonny Boxing Talk. Thanks for coming through, bro. Mishikoto, thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all go show some support to each other. If you haven't yet, make sure you go and you subscribe to this channel. Shout out to my OG Muhammad. Thanks, man. I appreciate the donation. You said teach young G, listening attentively. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, OG. Shout out to the grinder, JT. Appreciate you on a $2 super chat, my brother. Keep on the spoken truth. I gotta do it, bro. It's my job, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to the grinder. Oh yeah. Happy birthday to the grinder. Y'all give a happy birthday to my brother JT, man. Tell him happy birthday in the chat room. Show my brother some love, man. On his born day. Shout out to my brother Jaquel. Appreciate you coming through, bro. It's been a minute, man. Good to have you here, my brother. Jasmine Virgo, what's going on, Jasmine Virgo? Glad to see you, Jasmine Virgo. Don't be a stranger, Jasmine Virgo. Shout out to the Grinch. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm going to check my email. I got you. Shout out to my brother Shug. Thanks for stopping through, bro. Much love. You said it'll be a never-ending cycle, huh, Jasmine? Think so? You said, how does a person get past that pain? They have to, like I always say, they have to take responsibility and accountability, not specifically for what happened, but for what they're going to do afterwards. Because you can't tell someone to take responsibility for them being raped. You know, that's just crazy. I would never say no shit like that. You know, because being raped or molested is a forceful act. You know, I don't think a person will willingly get raped or willingly be molested, but it's about what you do after. And most people, they go into a shell and they suppress those thoughts. And that's what creates the pain body, not fully accepting it when it happens. Because when you don't accept something, you begin to create a false reality behind what you don't accept, like the truth. So that's what you first must do, OG, my brother Muhammad. You have to, you know, like Eckhart Tolle said, you have to face it and accept it. Meaning you have to acknowledge what happened. Most people don't want to acknowledge those types of things. You know, they don't want to acknowledge it because it hurts to even bring it up. Hence the reason why you suppress it. But when you constantly suppress something, your radars for triggers also go up too. So, like Jasmine Virgo said, you walk on eggshells, and that's never good. That's never good. The grinder says breaking the vicious cycle. That's very exactly. That is the vicious cycle that needs to be broken. Exactly, big bro. Shout out to my brother Gab again. Appreciate you on a donation. Jasmine say, "Are you a therapist? Sheep stay sleep." I don't know. I think it may be too late for me to go into therapy. You know, I'm 33. Might be too late for me to go and get my degree in therapy. Might be. I don't know. I don't want to be walking around like Umar telling people I'm a therapist and shit. You know? Yes, face the problems head on. Yeah, but it's hard to do that. It's hard. Shit. Only time you really begin to face the problems head on, Jasmine, is when you really get tired of that shit. You know? That's why they say you could never determine a person's time to change or to grow or to heal. It's all on them. And that's why I say healing is a process, not an event. It's a process, man. And you got to let that person go through what they're going through. It can even be your significant other, but you have to let them go through it. You have to. And if you're not willing to be there while they go through it, then you might as well just walk away. Yeah, Dylan Roof. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. A lot of them serial killers and them shooters and all of that, man. When you look at their life, you know, it tells it all, man. Hash TV. Shout out to my brother Hash, man. Make sure y'all go and show some support to my brother Hash TV, man. Good brother. That's my brother from out in Canada. Shout out to Canada. JR Meadows. Shout out to JR Meadows, man. Thanks for tuning in. What's going on, Darren? Thanks for tuning in, big dog. Shout out to my brother Deep in Thought, man. Thanks for tuning in. Rastafari. That's right, Hash TV. You already know. YouTube pushed me out. You silly, Jasmine. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know YouTube was kicking people off. Oh, it's never too late. It's never too late. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, OG, and I appreciate that, Jasmine. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know, I appreciate that. Y'all made a brother crack a little smile, man. I appreciate that. Word up. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight, family. Much love to y'all. Thanks for tuning in. If y'all haven't yet, go ahead and smash that like button, share the show. And I will be back tomorrow. Once again, Real Spill. If you would like to be a part of the Real Spill podcast, hit me up. DSAlliance1 at gmail.com. That's DSAlliance1 at gmail.com. DS, I'm going to put it in the chat. DS Alliance 1 at gmail.com. Email me if you want to be on the next episode of Real Spill. Just go ahead and email me and we can set that up. I appreciate all the love and support. Like I said, go ahead and share the show. Much love to y'all. I will be back tomorrow. This is DS1 Ross of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, y'all, we got to heal before we build. We got to heal before we build. Let's get rid of these pain bodies, y'all. If we want to see some real progress, the real work is within. Till next time, peace.